Guys, welcome back. It's day 4, the Cheltenham Gold Cup day, the best day of the year for jump racing for me. It's the best race. I absolutely love it. Where better to start off than the Magners Cheltenham Gold Cup over 3 mile 2, won last year by Native River, who runs again this year. Where to start? We'll start with the favourite, Presenting Percy. He's been seen once this year when winning the Galmoy over hurdles. I mean, some of you might think that he can't go into a Gold Cup and win a Gold Cup from that, but believe me, this horse is class. He's won twice at Cheltenham Festival the last 2 years. He won the RSA beating Monolith by 7 lengths last year, could have been further. He won the Potemps the year before. Davy Russell knows what it takes to win a Gold Cup from winning it last time with Lord Windermere for Jim Calotti. And I mean, what can I say? You know, the trainer and the owners get some stick for not speaking out and running this horse more, but they know this horse is class. They don't need to send it if they don't to a track unless they need to. They think that it's good enough to win second time out this year, and its first run. You know, it's probably unheard of going there without a chase run this year. But who knows? I think he's class. He's 7-2. You might get the Irish steaming into him on the day. He's drifted like in the last couple of days, but only a little bit. I think he was as short as 5-2 in places. He's now 7-2, best price. He's rightly the favourite for me. I think the favourite would be Clander Zobo. If Presenting Percy obviously wasn't in the race. I mean, his form, he won the King George and then he won the Denman Chase. You know, the way he's been left to mature from Paul Nicholls, you know, he's taken his time. He's a massive strapping horse. Maybe seen him in the Triumph a few years ago. He was absolutely huge. There's no wonder why he didn't win that, because he's an absolute beast of a horse. He's improved no end, and he is 9-2. Native River 6-1. Like I said, the winner last year, I think needs soft ground. I don't think he's going to get soft ground this year from the winter we've had. So I think he could be suspect to a horse that's just a little bit quicker than him. He obviously won the Welsh National. Might Bite, what's happened to him this year? Obviously had his issues. Loves good ground, so you know I wouldn't write him off at your peril at the minute. He could be a good price at a place, 16-1. You've got Bells Hill at 14s, who won the Irish Gold Cup. Who beat Road to Respect. They're both 14s. They didn't beat him much. Album Photo 16-1. His jumping could be suspect for me. No doubt, but he's a class horse. Kenboy is 10-1. Won the Savills Chase. He's not been seen too often. He looks class. I think he would have won the Hennessy looking back now if they'd have got him over, but they didn't. For me, Presenting Percy is the winner of the Gold Cup for me this year. I think it'll be close. I think Clander Zobo. You know, he's the improver of the field. You know, by certainly this year. I'm going to stick with Presenting Percy. I'd love to see Thistlecrack run a race. Even he deserves his shot in the Gold Cup. You know, he's been unlucky with injuries after he won the King George a couple of years ago, and then was injured and couldn't run. He's come back to form this year, finishing second in the King George. I'd love to see that. Frodon 25-1. I don't think he will stay. I mean, Paul Nicholls says he'll stay, so you trust him. He's a master trainer. The only problem with him, I think he might not get the pace of the race. He might not be able to dictate. So I would be away from him. Annabelle Fly will stay all day long. Finished third last year, is 25-1. Elegant Escapes 25-1, who won the Welsh National. I think should have gone for the RSA the 4 miler last year, but went for the RSA instead when beaten by Presenting Percy. So yeah, I would stick with Presenting Percy at this moment in time if I had to pick one. Onto the Triumph now. Could be the banker of the week for me. Joseph O'Brien, JP McManus, Sir Eric looked an absolute monster. This horse was rated 109 on the flat, beating third, 3 lengths by Stradivaris in the Gold Cup. That for me is absolutely mind-blowing that this horse has been able to go hurdling. The Camelot Colt could be absolutely different gravy. He's slick jumper. His turn of foot at the Dublin Race Festival when he kicked clear was unbelievable. I was, mind blown by that day. I liked him before that, but then for him to come out and do that, he's just crashed in the market. He was about 6-7-1 for the race before that. He smashed in now to 5-4. Could easily be a lot shorter on the day. I think he goes off odds on. Fakir Re is in there, third favourite at the minute, but I think he's going to go to the Supreme on the first day. I'm not going to run them against each other. Of others, the best of the English is Kel Destan. Kel Destan, Paul Nicholls, apart from getting beat first time, has done nothing wrong this year. Won 4 races on the bounce, beating Ajali, who was only post favourite for this from the start of the year. He then did get beat by Fakir Re, trounced as well by 15 lengths. And This Paul Nicholls horse just looks like a hardy horse to me. You know, I think whether he's good enough to win on another year, he deserves to be favourite for me. But this year you've got Sir Eric, and I think Sir Eric is different gravy to this. Paul Nicholls also has Pictory, who I've mentioned in previous videos. I don't know whether he'll go here or the Fred Winter. I'll be surprised if he turns up here first time out in this country, for sure. Pentland Hills I was impressed with yesterday. One for Nicky Henderson and De Boinville. Not much in behind, but he absolutely sluiced in. It's a shame we're not going to get Fusel Raffles here as well, because he looked absolute beast at the weekend. But we found out he's picked up an injury. Band of Outlaws, Gardens of Babylon, and other horses that have got form line behind Sir Eric. Whether they'll take their engagement here or not, will go for I won't say the easier option, but the Fred Winter might be an easier race maybe than this. Obviously there'll be more runners. I think this race could really absolutely cut up to pieces. I think we could have hardly any runners here if they run away from Sir Eric. So for me, Sir Eric could be the nap of the week. I'll stick with that. Off the Albert Bartlett, more of a attrition race. This is over 3 miles. It's a novice hurdlers, won last year by Kilbrick and Storm. Some good horses in behind, including Santini, who's favourite for the RSA this year, and Paisley Park, who's well down the field. He's now favourite for the Stayers. So, you know, this could go away. I mean, we'll start with the favourite. We've got joint favourites now. Commander of the Fleet of Gordon Elliott's and Liz Nebraska. Commander of the Fleet has done nothing wrong. He looked like the step up to 2 miles 6 last time was perfect. He's got speed. They've ran him over 2 miles this year, so you know it could be very, very versatile. This horse. He's going to go here because I think Battle of Verdoyen will go for the 2.5 mile race earlier in the week. He's probably rightly favourite right now for this race, but this race has thrown up big price winners before. I think Kilbrick was almost 33s last year. And then Liz Nebraska, Rebecca Curtis. I'd love to see this horse win. I love Rebecca Curtis as a trainer. She's absolutely brilliant for what she does with the small horses she has. This is one of her bigger purchases, I believe, that they got. I mean, he won by 10 lengths to Ask Ben. He's now second favourite for this, joint favourite in places. Trip will not be a problem at all. He's a hardy horse, and you need to be hardy to win this race. I'd love to see her back in the winners' enclosure. She won this with Fisher's Cross a few years ago, so she knows what it takes to win the race. I'd probably, if I had to pick over the two, I'd say Liz Nebraska over Commander of Fleet for sure. Then Henderson's got 2 in the field. Dicky Diver and Birchdale. They both look classy outlet, horses. I think you need to be a bit more hardy than they look. I mean, Birchdale I think was beat last time by Brewing Up a Storm and Volley Murphy's when that fell at the last. I'd like to see him have a race against Brewing Up a Storm up the hill to see what he had in him, but unfortunately we didn't get a chance to see that day. Relegate of Willie Mullins, who won the Champion Bumper last year. He's been crying out for a step up in trip to 3 miles. She's going to get it here. I doubt her jumping will hold up, to be honest. She's not the best of jumpers. But in this race, you might be able to get away with it if you slot them in the back of the field. They've got Alaho as well, the Willie Mullins team, who was mightily impressive when winning a couple of weeks ago. He has an engagement in this and Ballymore, so he looks like a stayer to me, and I'd probably say go this route, but who knows? Willie Mullins knows where he wants his horses to go. Of others, I think Dinians might have a good price of Gordon Elliott's. That's 25 to 1. It's a good chance of a place for sure. Like I said, wouldn't put you off backing anything at bigger prices for this race, but at the moment, I'll be going with Liz Nagar Oscar. Onto the Foxhunters, a race that I enjoy to watch. Not very profitable for me, I must admit. Really kind of burning ambition last year, which didn't win. There's been some other bets that I've done before. On the Fringe was a good one for me. I love that horse. Here that's going point to point in now at the age of 14, so good luck to them. I did like Stand Up and Fight for this, which was Ender Bolger's horse, JP McManus. I really did like the look of him when he won on Boxing Day. He beat Sizen Cole and Cruz Linen there, but Shine might come off that because he lost a point last time out. He was packed into favour of about 4 to 1. He was beat last time in a point by Fenno Storm, who's also beat Burning Ambition this season, who obviously, like I said earlier, went off favourite. That could be solid form. Fenno Storm, best price, I'm looking on here now, is 20 to 1. I mean, if he goes here, that's huge. You can Stand Up and Fight is 9 to 2. So that just puts it into perspective. One I do like, that I have been impressed with, was Road to Rome. He's won 7 races on the trot now. He beat the 2-time winner Pasha de Polder, who's won this race 2 years on the trot now. Maybe should have had 3 in a row. Beat that in a race last time out. I mean, he looks the best I've seen. You know, he won going away easily by 21 lengths. I'd definitely be on the side of him. He's 7-1, third favourite behind Stand Up and Fight and Hazel Hill. Hazel Hill's racked up a couple of wins as well, and you normally find with these horses as well. They've been hunter chasing, and they come on the track. They do rack up some wins. So you look at the form line, and a lot of them have ones next to their name. It's a high class renewal this year. We've got some good horses in here. I mean, Uccello Conti, you know, none other than Gordon Elliott and the Munir horse. I mean, that could easily be the classiest horse in the race by a long way here. I mean, Stand Up and Fight's a young 6-year-old. Uccello Conti's got a bit more experience. Shown 2 Flyers, another one who finished second at the festival. That's going to go in here. That's now here. Arbor de V of Willie Mullins, that goes here. He's not really known for his fox hunter horses, you know, and hunter chases, but that's 14-1. That's changed hands, I believe, by owners, but still with Willie Mullins. Burning Ambition 20-1. Who knows? I mean, if I had to pick at the minute, I think Fenno Storm is huge at 20-1, and Road to Rome has been my horse I've liked, 7-1. I did back earlier in the season Stand Up and Fight after his run, but like I said, that's I think the shine's been taken off that. And 9-2, I'd like to see a bigger price now, I think, than that. So I'd probably go Road to Rome 7-1. He won last time by that 21 lengths distance, so I'd probably stick with him. Onto the county now. Not have too much input here because again the weights haven't come out yet. We don't know what's going to be declared for it. I think the Charles Burns runner, Off You Go. He's a progressive performer. I'd probably be leaning towards him at the moment if I was to have a bet in here. Whether he goes here or not, he's got other options as well. So again, I can't be too sure on it. Who will go? Felix Desi is 16-1. He could end up here, but he does have the entry in the Supreme as well. Ivanovic Gorbatov, the previous winner of the Triumph, and he's high up in the betting 16-1. Capitan, Paul Nicholls 20-1. Grand C 20-1. Getaway Trump 20-1. All Paul Nicholls horses that can go. Southfield Stone even, who beat Angel's Breath, is 20-1. I mean, I wouldn't like to pick a winner right now, if I'm honest with you. So I'm not going to tip too much up. I'd like Capitan. If he turns up, I'd probably back him at each way at 20-1. Onto the Martin Pipe Conditional Hurdle, be the last race of the festival this year. They've swapped races with the Grand Annual, so this will be the last race this year at the festival. Dallas de Picton is very short in places now for a race of this calibre, as short as 6-1. Gordon Elliott Chain, Gigginstown owned. He's been the favourite since his win at the Dublin Racing Festival, and probably rightly so. Looks like he's been aimed at this for a while. Finished second on debut behind City Light, who's highly regarded, who's third favourite for the Ballymore. He won a maiden hurdle by 10 lengths, easily pulling away after the last. I see him running a very good race, but it's just if you want to take the price of 6-1 in a race this competitive, probably not for me at the minute. But again, his price will only go shorter. See the Irish really lumping onto him on the last day, especially the last race. An interesting one for me, Danny Kirwan. He might not go here, but if he does, I'd like to be on the right side of him. He's big as 20-1 in places now for this, but again, not sure whether he goes here. You've got multiple entries again. You've got Brio Conti is in here, Ivanovic Gorbatov, Monsignor Lecoq, Thomas Darby. I mean, a lot of these horses at the minute at the top of the betting might not even run, so I couldn't be sure of giving you too much of an advantage point. Again, I'll probably go with Nicholls runner. You know, I like Brio Conti's 20-1. But yeah, at the minute, I'd probably say wait, so we know what the weights are, who gets in here. But you've got to be a good horse to get in this now as well. The ratings have gone up. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. And final race that I'll be previewing will be the Grand Annual. Usually the last race, they normally go off hell for leather. They go off a ridiculous pace. They've moved it forward one race now. It was unfortunate. There was a couple of deaths in the race last year, which we don't want to see. Like I said, it's difficult to have an opinion on this race at the minute. Paul Nicholls, whatever he runs in here, I would probably be siding with as well. I'd have Magic Saint at 14s at the minute in here. Dolos, if Dolos goes here, I like that horse as well. He's a horse I really like to keep on the side of. I'm interested if Gary Mawson's not going to noose this way, because I don't think he's good enough to win the other race that he'll be entered in. I think it's the Arkle, but he could be interested in here. Hell's Kitchen. He's a funny old horse. He could end up here as well. Looking at the bet now, Henderson's got the favourite. What's Wrong With You? That came out and won last time out. He'd love to win the race. Obviously named after his father. But at the minute, can't be too sure. So, tip for day for the final day. My nap of the day would be Sir Eric. But it's not very original. I also presenting Percy. I love presenting Percy as a horse, and I'd love to see them win it. I'd love to see Thistlecrack run a big race. Of course I would. And I'd probably chuck in there the Rebecca Curtis horse, Liz Nagar Oscar. I think it'd be great to see her in there. And I think she has got a really live contender of winning a good race here. So that concludes my 4 videos. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I hope you get some winners. Feel free to take on my tips on board. Have your own input. Feel free to drop me a comment down below of your fancies. If you agree with any of mine, if you don't agree, this is a game on opinions. Just have a good festival. Enjoy it. If you haven't been before, make sure you're going to absolutely love it. You'll always go back again every year. We're looking forward to going this year. Bring it on. And good luck, guys. All the best.